New York. What can I say except that I love it? Growing up in the South, I was shown a very specific version of this place on television and film. But to my great surprise, after living here for over a decade, I've discovered that there is so much more. My name is Allyshia, and I'm on a quest to show you a totally different side of New York and some hidden gems. So come on and get away with me, even if it's just for a day. Jazz music originated in New Orleans in the sub-style of Dixieland jazz and gained influence from Creole, ragtime, and most importantly, blues music. Did you know at one point jazz was considered immoral music? It sure was. But over time, as white artists began performing and popularizing jazz, it was modified and became more acceptable for middle-class white Americans, which likely led to the jazz age being referred to as the Roaring Twenties. And author F. Scott Fitzgerald is widely credited with coining the term. But rest assured, artists like Earl Father Hines, Jelly Roll Morton, and Fats Waller have produced sounds that have stood the test of musical time, ensuring that the masses know the origins and creators of jazz music. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Getaway for a Day with Allyshia Renee. Today I'm headed to Governor's Island to celebrate the Roaring Twenties at the 2017 Jazz Age Lawn Party. So let's go!
To the 2017 Jazz Age Lawn Party!
So I made it inside of the event, and we are here with Roddy and Gretchen Caravella. I want you guys to please tell, first of all, look at these beautiful outfits. This is why I come to this event every year. So could you please tell us what this fabulous event is all about and what your part is?
The Jazz Age Lawn Party started 12 years ago, right here in this space, as a very tiny picnic for friends. And Michael Arenella brought his orchestra here, and he literally phone called everybody and said, would you come out and have a picnic? We're going to do a 20s Jazz Age picnic. So we all brought our picnics. There was no dance floor, it was just grass. We danced on the grass.
And what year was that?
This was 12 years ago.
Wow, okay.
And the next year we decided to procure a dance floor, do dance lessons, and have performances, and I am the dance director of this event now. So anything that happens here in dance, my finger is in it.
The Charleston contest too?
Oh yes,
Yes.
My finger is in it. So it's become a wonderful day for people in New York to come out and have a Gatsby-like day. So I hate to use the Gatsby, but a Gatsby-like day, and dress up. And you know, if you don't come dressed one year, the next year you come dressed because you want to dress.
Yes, it's fun to participate.
You want to look good.
Yes.
Or come back in August?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
I have a dance troupe, the Canarsie Wobblers. It's a nickname for the L train. In the 1920s, they called it the Canarsie Wobbler because it shook a lot on the elevated platform. That's where I got the name. And the group was born out of this event. My wife dances with us. She is also the costume designer. She's a milliner. She makes custom hats for ladies and dresses and so on. So We are very, very involved. Michael Arenello is a dear friend. We're like family. And when we work this event, we put our heart and soul into it.
I love it. I think this is my 5th time coming, and as you can see, to me it's the classiest thing in New York. Now, could you please tell us quickly about the costume? Because, I mean, from the polka dot stockings to the dress, everything is just so lovely.
I love to have fun with it, and I love strong graphics and contrasts, and the Peabody is a fast dance, so I want it to be very jazzy. And so we have, for this particular number, we had all different patterns in black and white, and it was a lot of fun. And I do some of the Follies costumes too, and help with the other Wobblers numbers. So.
Okay, so what should I expect to get into today? What else can I get into besides the dancing for someone like myself who may not be so good on the dance floor right now?
There is so much music to be listened to.
Okay.
Michael Arenello and the Dreamland Orchestra. The piano player right now, Mr. Peter Minton, one of the most eloquent, beautiful piano players historically on jazz. The Jesse Gelber Orchestra. On the other stage, Drew Nugent and the Midnight Society from Philadelphia. Hot jazz. Armstrong, Fats Waller, Willie Lionsmith. Hot jazz. There are vendors, vintage clothing. If you want some vintage clothing, shop. Break out the wallet. There's food to be had. There's beautiful vintage cocktails to be had. I mean, there's just so much. There were a few vintage cars that came out. You can take a picture with the car.
And
What a day!
the moon photo booths too.
The photo moon booth. It's a beautiful day.
Okay, well, thank you so very, very much.
And I say you are wearing the color of the day. It's beautiful. Like green is lovely.
Prohibition. The 1920s was also the time that it was a crime to sell alcohol in the United States. Can you even imagine? Of course, this spurred multiple underground operations that sold wine and beer. Prohibition had a large effect on the jazz industry as it made speakeasies become very popular during that time because they were places where one could go and get a sip of liquor while listening to jazz music.
Oh, well, going back to Prohibition and pre-Prohibition, that's a whole nother story as far as evolution of cocktails and cocktail history. But I've been fortunate to be a part of this event, Jazz Age, for many, many years, and we've had different sponsors come in. But always, it's an amazing day to get off the island or get away from Brooklyn and come to Governor's Island, because really you don't have many excuses to. But it's a beautiful, like, transporting location. Everybody's dressed up in costumes, so it's amazing. People watching. Yeah, the lawn party is a spectacular event. Happens twice during the summer. We're going to do this again at the end of August. We love jazz.
Yes, totally.
I love the 20s, and Governor's Island is beautiful.
A 1928 Model A Ford pickup truck. It's a roadster. Very rare seeing a roadster. You'll see them with a hard top, but you won't see them this way.
You mean drop top? Like
No,
where they come
hard.
down?
Or, you know, like what you see trucks now. They got a roof.
Okay.
Steel. This is not steel. This is canvas.
Okay.
It's not a convertible. It doesn't
Oh,
fold,
okay.
but it is a rag. It will come off. It is a rag top, and it's a real basic truck.
It's beautiful.
1928, built June 2nd, 1928. There were Ford made Model A made about 4.5 million vehicles before production ceased in I think it was in early 1932, and then he introduced the Model B. This vehicle actually has, it's a crossover, it's got a Model B engine in it.
But it's a Model
A car, but with a Model B engine, and only to the discerning eye will you know the difference between a Model B and a Model A engine. It's a more powerful engine that's in this truck.
You're like an encyclopedia. I'm like, okay, Model A. All I knew about was the Model T, so you just taught me
not a Model
something.
T. So, and then if you want to take a look at the engine, this is the engine.
Okay, this is for the fellas, and I shouldn't say that,
Okay,
but
okay.
it's for the guys.
For the guys.
True.
That is a 4-cylinder engine. The way you know, you count the spark plugs. How many spark plugs? You know what a spark plug is?
I do.
Okay, where are they? Point them out.
There's 4 of them.
4 of
Okay,
them.
4 of them.
They're white.
Right here.
That's right.
That's a spark plug. And how many are there? There are 4. So it's got 4 jugs. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is the distributor, and that distributes the spark to each one. These are the wires that send the high tension voltage to ignite the spark and make the explosion in the engine.
When I used to watch my dad and granddad fix cars, the only thing I enjoyed was when they had the hood up to see the fan go. That's all
There you go. You want to see?
We'll put this down as the history lesson portion of the show, kids. We all could stand to learn a little history.
Here we
It's
go.
like his 4th
Okay, you ready?
1, 2, 3, go.
Come on, baby. Woo, there's that fan I love.
Right away, right?
Good car, good car.
How do you think it got here?
Oh, well, nice.
It ran out of gas.
Oh,
It came all the way from Brooklyn to here.
Brooklyn.
It's got a gas shutoff. And one of the things that this is the tank. That's the gas tank. It's a gravity feed, no pump. It just flows in. It's like turning the cup upside down.
And you put it in.
You put it in right there.
That's different.
You get into a head-on collision, you're
gone.
you're roasty toasty.
Roasty toasty. I like that. Well, thank you so very much. Okay, so everybody that knows me knows that I'm a fan of all things different. Look at this lady's head. What's his name?
His name is Phil, and he's looking for a home, and you don't have to feed him.
Okay, and what is your name?
I'm Dora, but you have to feed me.
So tell me, Dora, what are you doing out here today at today's fabulous party?
Well, I make and design hair accessories for 30 years now, and we're at the Jazz Age Lawn Party at Governor's Island, having a great time. And I just brought him out for the day. He wasn't here yesterday, but he loves being in New York and having a great time here with all the music.
It's like Carrie Bradshaw's
There you go.
sisters out here.
Peacock like you. That's
Peacock.
Peacock.
Oh yeah, she has a peacock.
Yeah.
So how has people been responding?
Oh my God, they loved him. They absolutely loved love them. I had this one similar to this at the Dolce & Gabbana show in January in Milan. Hello.
Milan.
And we're just having a great time. It's a good people. People are walking around beautiful dress. I mean, you got a band coming.
Michael.
Right, here we go.
Verse, F minor, 1, 2, 1, 2. Louisiana, Louisiana, I've been sad, I've been sad. Louisiana, Louisiana, I'm glad, I'm glad. The wind is blowing, the wind is going. Here I come, here I come. No, you're the one, that's why I'm the one. Back to happiness and then some. Louisiana, Louisiana, I've been sad. Those skies are blue. You are tears in your heart. Give me one more time. Have a little shot. Let's be running wild. Louisiana.
(1920s) fashions. Oh, the fashions of the 1920s were so classy and whimsical. After years of wearing long and confined clothing, women were now wearing loose-fitting dresses and even shorter skirts. Even the men got in on the fashion updates as they started wearing less formal attire and began wearing clothing with a more athletic appeal. Let's check out some of the fashions at the Jazz Age lawn party.
Oh man, this is really living.
We're committed to the art and nothing stop us. Not even a train, plane, tractor, or a bus. So we feel the rhythm inside the marrow of our bones. And we be fascinated by the music sounds and headphones.
3 blocks beats brings me a relevant speech. Like 2 girls were matching, going to a fashion pageant, asking for some passionate actions within the old masculine man friend. Wait a minute, let me change my tangent. Flows tactical, inapplicable for PCs and apples. I snap two to slap you. They act cool, natural, quite attached to getting rich and getting some chicks and maybe a fan that's willing to chill in the sticks. I'll tell you what I think, even if society isn't behind me or the community isn't in unison. Open your ears and your mind to our tones, cause it's the Reeboks bringing you pleasure to your headphones.
We're committed to the art and nothing stop us. Not even a train, plane, tractor, or a bus. So we feel the rhythm inside the marrow of our bones. And we be fascinated by the music sounds and headphones. My flow is vicious, stacked like dirty dishes. Swimming schools like fishes. I mix my beats delicious. Talent and soul is what we give it.
I hate to be, you know I'm that type. I'm here with the man, the legend, Michael Arnella. And he's a Southern boy, like I'm a Southern girl. So, Michael, Thank you for putting together this fabulous event. Please tell us how this came about.
Of course. Well, this is our 12th year out here on Governor's Island, and I wanted to give New Yorkers an experience unlike what they're used to. Something relaxed, somewhere you could be under the trees, on the grass, with fresh air, have a picnic on the lawn, listen to live music, dance, have a drink, enjoy your life. Because New Yorkers, we work hard and we need time to unwind. And me being a native Georgian, I grew up in the South, where things are a little bit of a slower pace.
Yes.
So I wanted to bring a little bit of that to the New Yorkers so that they could catch the breath of it.
Yes. Okay, so what gave you the idea to do the 1920s? It's such a very classic time.
Absolutely.
And everyone looks beautiful, and you look dapper. So what made you do it?
Well, the 1920s was a time of amazing energy for us. There was amazing growth, amazing innovation, lots of crazy stuff going on. I won't pretend to say it was the best time, but no time is the best time, because every era has its ups and downs. But what I can say about the 20s is we were still a very young country, and we were still striving. And we had beautiful poetry. We had Langston Hughes. We had Duke Ellington. We had, let's talk about Sophie Tucker, the singer, Bessie Smith. F. Scott Fitzgerald. We had Gertrude Stein, the first feminist. We had Louise Brooks, the first girl with short hair. We had Ernest Hemingway, to name a few. And let's not forget about Greta Garbo. Let's not forget about the great boxer Jack Johnson. Let's not forget about, I'm going to let you pick this one out. She wore a banana skirt.
Josephine Baker, hello.
For example.
How could I not know? I would lose my car.
For example. And she was so hot that she left America and went over to Paris. Oui, oui.
So I want to thank you for putting together this event. And the reason I'm doing this show is so that people who are even born and raised here in New York can see that after a rough weekend work, this is the best way to start off the next work week. I mean, the music is great, the people look great, and there's not a frown in the crowd. Sorry.
Life is short, you got to enjoy yourself.
So, Michael, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
And we saw you playing in the crowd.
Thank you, honey.
Thank you. All right, bye guys. See you later.
1920s dancing. If you think people got down in the 1970s via Soul Train, they really got down in the 1920s. Dances such as the Black Bottom, the Charleston, and the Jitterbug took the world by storm as youngsters everywhere were indulging in the decadence of the decade. Of course, one of the most famous dancers during that time was Josephine Baker, and she left America and took Paris by storm for most of the 1920s.
Time at the Jazz Age Lawn Party has come to an end. And once again, I had a fabulous time, and I got to talk to the creator, Michael Arianello. I'm telling you, you need to do things like this in New York just to get yourself centered before you get back into the concrete jungle. So, until next time, this is Allyshia with Getaway for a Day with Allyshia Renee. Bye, y'all.